Before we get started, if you could give this video a thumbs up, hit the like button, and if you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and think about that and hit the subscribe button, hit notification bell, all that, because you're going to get content just like this almost every single day. So if you like this kind of stuff, make sure you tune in. But anyways, today I am going to be addressing a pretty toxic conflict I started on Discord a long time ago. It comes up every now and then recently, but anyways, it's one of the more villainous things I used to do when I debated and was very active on Discord, and that is talk about how Lobo solos Marvel Comics. Now, a lot of my debates I like to go uphill, which means, you know, Lobo shouldn't beat Marvel Comics, but there's arguments for it. So with that being said, today we're going to discuss, could Lobo actually solo Marvel Comics? So to do this, I'm going to go over what I consider to be some of the most popular feats that involve Lobo, at least the most memorable, and go over the different Lobos and how he stacks up feat-wise against Marvel Comics, and narratively how I think it would go down. So one of the first feats, he was unharmed by Dr. Fate's squad. This was a squad full of magic users like Zatanna and Dr. Fate, and Dr. Fate's considered one of the strongest normal members of DC Comics. He's DC's Doctor Strange, and they did absolutely no damage to Lobo. His willpower and his pinky finger alone is equal to the entire sum of the willpower of a lantern. So these people, who are the most will-driven characters in the galaxy, they don't even compare to a single pinky of willpower from Lobo. Like, it's that ridiculous. He has a bike, which is actually extremely powerful and is always ready. The bike has defensive mechanisms as well that Lobo doesn't have to even be near it for it to activate. So that's a threat as well if you're fighting him. If you run across this bike, you know, it's lighting you up. He's been able to absolutely wreck Martian Manhunter. Did this pretty easily and just exploited his weaknesses. He blitzed Hal Jordan rather casually and was kind of thrashing him, and Hal Jordan's consistently one of, if not the strongest Green Lantern. He bullied post-crisis Superman. Amped Superman was able to somewhat BFR him, however he wasn't able to even hurt Lobo. Lobo has shown extreme regeneration even from ashes. He can bypass intangibility, a character who stated none living have seen him. Was seen and touched by Lobo. He was able to bully Shazam at one point, who is consistently around Superman tier, if not slightly better than Superman because of the magic qualities. He's actually supposed to be faster than Superman. Lobo's also blitzed Superman easily as well, tied him up with his chain, tossed him around, ragdolled him, basically made Superman look like a jobber. He's been able to move so fast in combat that he can calculate the Flash's speed while the Flash is trying to blitz him, and he was able to trip up the Flash and catch him slipping. He's been able to joke around and just mess with Superman in combat while Superman's, you know, doing his best to take down Lobo. Lobo's not taking it seriously at all. His clones somewhat rival his power, and this was somewhat shown when Starro connected to a Lobo clone and even had difficulty reading the clone itself, because only Lobo-like characters can do that. So the real Lobo would probably do it, which means the clone should scale as well. He's been able to fight people with no heads. He lost his head once and just wanted to prove he could fight without it, and did quite well. He has super senses on the, you know, brink of supernatural at some point. He's able to, prior to this being retconned, he is able to be cloned. And the way he clones himself is with a drop of blood. So if you give a major gash on Lobo, all that blood spilled, he not only regens from, he uses every drop of blood to make a new clone that's pretty much rivaling him in power. So yeah, you're gonna get completely annihilated. He's been able to resist a telepathic attack that bodied the Justice League, and it was a joke to him. He's completely regenerated from a skeleton before. He's shown telepathic resistance time and time again, at least rivaling, if not superior, to Superman's resistance against mind hacks. Clones, like I said, can vary in number. It's basically based on how injured Lobo is. He's been able to completely destroy universe-controlling reality warpers. Now, these two characters themselves were completely controlling their universe and were said to be all-powerful relative to their universe and could do nothing to Lobo inside of it, and he completely decimated both of them. He's like casually backhanded Shazam, making Shazam look like a complete jobber. It was absolutely no difficulty. He stated that Eclipso, who was attacking him with the chaos of God himself, the literal chaos of God, Lobo said it tickled. Did absolutely nothing to him. He's been able to bully Big Barda. He's regenerated himself from just one drop of blood, no problem. And it was also speculated later down the line that he could do it again pretty easily. So it's somewhat confirmed multiple times. It's stated in some analysis of Lobo that he can find any weakness in an opponent, and he can track you anywhere you go, including if you are traveling across even dimensions. The mind of Lobo himself is actually quite intelligent and quite unique. He's either at Etrigan tier, but there is some evidence to suggest he might be above. This was mostly shown when Lobo was able to fight against a character that had beaten Etrigan, so it's kind of direct scaling at that point. He should be a little bit above Etrigan. He's also been able to one-shot Martian Manhunter, and this was actually pretty funny because he did it by throwing away a lantern. So he didn't even mean to knock out Martian Manhunter, which is even more impressive. Superman is massively below Lobo in speed when Lobo's trying to blitz. In fact, Superman said he couldn't even really process the speed. He's been able to fight against Despero and somewhat hold his own. Despero is a team buster and had thrashed the Justice League prior. He was able to famously kill Santa, took a hit out on Santa and killed him. He's brawled with Etrigan before and tanked his fire, which has actually incredibly high scaling. So, with all the stuff Lobo has done, also including the fact that he's banned from heaven and hell, do I think he has the feats to support him soloing Marvel? Narratively, absolutely. I believe if they did a crossover where Lobo took a hit out on Marvel, it would just be Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe all over again, except more brutal because it's Lobo and he's physically more capable than Deadpool. But both are somewhat gag characters in nature, and I think the same rules would apply to Lobo. And if that was his goal in a crossover, absolutely, narratively, I see him accomplishing it. Now, if we're going off feats, high-end Lobo should scale to the gag level feats I was talking about. So yes, highest peak Lobo at his best, you could definitely argue solos Marvel. Mid-tier Lobo, or average Lobo to somewhat good Lobo, is Superman tier, if not a little bit above. So translating to Marvel, that should be a little above Thor, Silver Surfer level. So that's not soloing Marvel. So in the end, overall, two versions, which is high tier Lobo and the narrative version, are able to solo, in my opinion, Marvel, and one version, which would be the mid-grade to slightly okay Lobo, does not solo. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like. I had a lot of fun doing this. It's been a topic I've brought up several times on Discord and to other people, but never on my channel itself. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. If you disagree, go ahead and comment. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.